Begin with the invocation. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhe Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. Hari Om. Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. Yes, I think Kalpana ji has asked to relook at the ninth shloka. Would you like to just say something which was not clear though in the ninth shloka, Kalpana ji, or what would you like to look at it a little bit more in detail? I'll read out the shloka first. Sahrun Mitra Yudasinam Adhyastadveshya Bandhushu Sadhushvapi ja Papeshu Sama Buddhi Vishishyate. The one who is having a Sama Buddhi, he is considered the exalted one or the great one. So what is it here that you want to look at, Kalpana ji? Can you unmute something if you wish to look at? I'm unable to hear you, ji. Please unmute. Ji. Yeah.
Eighth Adhyaya also talks the same thing, equality, and the ninth Adhyaya also continues into that. Because
Yeah.
whether it's a friend or a foe, or a
हाँ.
known person or an unknown person, or
You mean the
neutral
shlokas? You're talking about the
well-wisher.
shlok. You're talking about the shlokas, isn't it?
Yeah,
No?
eighth and ninth.
Eighth and ninth shlokas are talking about equanimity. So
Yeah,
actually, there will be one more shloka afterwards, later on also coming, which is talking about equanimity in a different level. So the first thing is it's about
equanimity.
equanimity and about objects, means towards objects. Samatva bhav.
Uh-huh.
Towards objects.
Hmm.
Sama loshashma kanchana, whether it is clay, whether it
Hmm.
is gold, whether it is stone. Ultimately, they're
Okay.
objects, isn't it? You should be able
Hmm.
to treat them as objects. Otherwise, many times some people see gold and you can see the gold glitter in their other person's eyes only. Jealousy,
Hmm.
other aspects start coming in. So that is something that is the yogi is not going to have that jealousy. Why is this person more wealthy or why is this person like this or nothing? Equally, it is beautiful. I think if a mother receives a jewelry from a child, will the mother check, is it gold? Is it having that mark? Or is it going to be,
No.
it's not what is the cost of it? It is a
Full
love, isn't
faith.
it? Yeah, yeah. I know of a mother, she wore imitation jewelry and she was a very senior mother. So when people at her workplace asked, she said it's platinum. She said it was platinum. It was actually just a very, very, means on the street available for say 30, 40 rupees. So it is something like that.
Yeah, it's
So
about the
objects. First about objects. Next about people.
people.
Equanimity, yeah. Equanimity towards people is a little difficult. The third stage will come about equanimity in the yogi's path. We will see that later on. But right now, people, meaning looking at your friends and your foes also with equality. Means normally what happens, somebody you don't like comes in, you are by default, you activate your SOP inside of your mind by Purva Sanskar. Ah, this person is like this person is going to say this is going to happen to me. It's as if you are already manifesting something when it is not. Maybe by chance, by mistake, that person does not want to trouble you. That person has a tendency to trouble you, but is not at that moment going to trouble you. But you are only creating that atmosphere and aura, giving that person the chance. So with equanimity, with samatha, whether the person is close or whether the person is far, whether it is somebody like Shakuni. Shakuni is, I think, there in everybody's home. One person is there, some uncle, some aunt comes in, everything is going well, but no, 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 do like this, do like that, and creates an entire troublesome situation. It's all right. It's all right. There are people like that. Why should we get so disturbed? Why are these people like this? Why are they, what are they getting? No, they are getting a lower, most, what we can say, distorted version of Ananda in doing it. It is distortion. It is not true. But that is what they are doing. That is their way of functioning. Why should we try to understand the logic? That way, if we try to understand the logic, everybody has a logic in the world, isn't it? How many logics will you try to understand? Wrongdoer also has a logic. I remember I had one very senior, actually liaison agent. who wanted to get a deal from us to get the licenses. When I refused, then he began against me. I said, no, we don't want to give any bribe to anybody. We'll get it in a straightforward manner. He came and told me, don't they have family? I was so surprised. What is the meaning of don't they have family? The government officer's work is to do his duty. Where is the question of bribe coming? But this person created a default that this is the way, and he was trying to identify the perspective of the wrongdoer also and trying to empathize with the wrongdoer. That's not what we have to do. When we are trying to see oneness, we're not trying to empathize with the wrong action. When you start empathizing the wrong action, you give a justification to it, isn't it? You are justifying that and you are strengthening that action. Means imagine the nerve of that person to say that doesn't that government official also have a family? So he's asking for bribe. And so this person is making it a dharma to accept it and he becomes the liaison agent. Well, this is something we must understand that samatha is required. Well, and then there are the callous ones. Somebody who is indifferent to what is wrong. What is your duty if something happens wrong, whether it's your close person or whether it is your foe? Justice is justice, isn't it? Can we allow injustice to somebody just because we don't like them? No. Justice is universal. The moment you allow injustice somewhere else, it is going to come back to you. What was Karna's mistake? Such a nice person. Wrong association, willful wrong association, not understanding the spirit of justice. So here, keeping a balance at all times, even indifferent nearest, somebody you like the most, you go and confess your feelings to that person, and that person makes a mockery of it. That person doesn't reciprocate it. What's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen. That's what you have understood. But it's going to hurt a lot. When will it stop hurting? When you accept it, you'll have to accept it. And the only way you can accept is samatha. Samatvam yoga uchyate. That samatha. That way you will even see oneness, whether it's the saint or the sinner. Somebody who can see this oneness can progress ultimately, is what Krishna is saying. I hope is this clear now, Kalpana ji? Yeah. All right. So let us continue. Anybody would like to add or share some of the points since we generally have a brief recap. So one shloka has been covered by Kalpana ji. Can someone just share some other points that we saw yesterday? And more importantly, did anybody practice the 5-minute dhyana? Yes. Can someone share some experience if you can? Yes, please. Okay, Kalpana ji is saying first. All right. Yes, ma'am.
No.
You unmuted, so I
Technique
thought.
of Dhyan, actually, we learned.
Yes, did anybody
We
try?
learned about the techniques.
Yes, I tried
Yes,
it. I tried a couple
yes.
of times,
Okay, ji.
and it was again peaceful. But I did for 2 minutes. I didn't do for 5 minutes. I did the two
All right.
minutes one.
2 minutes, and it was
Yeah.
peaceful.
It was
So,
peaceful. It after it also it was like I was calm and happy for a long time.
Ji, that's nice to know. And that is the dhyana, no, should be carried afterwards also. Because it's not only at that moment. And that is what you call gathering of consciousness. You gather the consciousness, and then that has to be carried where you go. Otherwise, what happens? People go to temple and then feel good there. Then they don't go there, they feel bad. Because they're not able to carry that consciousness. And then they say, this is because I didn't go there, I'm guilty, I'm feeling like this, all bad is happening in my life. No, all these are mental, what we call gymnastics taking place, not required. Experience that. Shiva Manas Puja of Adi Shankaracharya will allow you to sit where you are and create a temple inside of your heart. What temple only? You're offering so many beautiful offerings. Navaratna Khanda Rachte, Patre Ghrutam Payasam. Then special Jala is there, Veena is there, Mrudanga is there, Gita is there, Nritya is there, so much. Pradakshina is also taking place, but where inside? So the consciousness gathering is important. And as I think Rajrupaji said, 2 minutes, at least 2 minutes. Let's not go below 2 minutes. Why? I think we've all tried boiling water, isn't it? At least 2 minutes you must boil. But in dhyana, this minimum 2 minutes is it was because of shortage of time. We have a 1 hour session, so we cannot take too much time. That's so we kept it 2 minutes. If we can stretch it to 4, 5. I know one person, one participant, he made it 35 minutes. He says, I do it regularly, 35 minutes. I don't know. I might fall asleep sitting 35 minutes that way. I don't know. Guarantee. Depending on the bhava, depending on that particular moment. But he was able to do with what that is what they call sankalpa, taking a decision. I will do it every day. So let us do this, especially when you want to take an important decision. Best to do the dhyana and then take the important decision. Because when do you take important decisions? When you have clarity of mind. When your Vivek Buddhi is Jagrut. What is Vivek Buddhi? Sat, Asat, Vivek Buddhi. How does it become Jagrut? Again by Shanti only. This point, isn't it? This point Krishna is told to focus. That is also the seat of Vivek Buddhi. That is the seat where you're focusing on. And when you start doing this dhyana, naturally you will know what is Sat, what is Asat. So important it is to know what is Sat and Asat, because the moment you realize it, you are not going to get disturbed. Today I had the good fortune of meeting one engineer, just a year senior to me. 2012, his father gave him a gift. Go to any part of the world because you have completed your engineering degree. Lovely father. He says, I'll go anywhere you want. And he chooses he's from America. So he chooses all the different countries. Thinks New Zealand is good, Australia is good, but no. Finally, he decides to come to Sri Aurobindo Ashram. Why? Because somewhere he's read something, nothing more than that. Pondicherry, from not knowing anything about it, and he lands at 3:30 a.m. in the morning in Pondicherry with a bag and not knowing anything what he's doing. Somehow he finds a way, but that journey which he took, he says, it was very quiet. I asked him, how did you know about Pondicherry? He said, through Sri Aurobindo. I said, Acha, how did you know about Sri Aurobindo? He said, I read Gita. Whose Gita? What Gita? He said, I read the Gita of ISKCON. I was like, wow, interesting. Then how did you connect here? He said, I went into a receptive state and I got this word in my head, life divine, two words, life and divine. He Googled life divine, and the first result that came was this book, Life Divine, and that connected him to the entire. He said, I got goosebumps reading the words of Sri Aurobindo, and then that is how my journey started. This is a story of 2012. Today he's gone quite a long distance ahead. Well, how is this possible? How did he suddenly think of that word? But it is there everywhere. The consciousness is there to help us. Whereas just as we get a difficult situation, what happens is we recoil, no? In a difficult situation, we immediately withdraw, we go inwards, we try to shut ourselves because we are hurt. At those moments only, instead of shutting ourselves, we should try to connect with higher consciousness. Better than dhyana, you will not find any other way. And if you want to take a decision, never take it when you're emotional, because 90% of the decisions taken in an emotional state are going to be wrong decisions. Instead, sit, do dhyana. No matter what, world is going to fall, sky is going to fall, it's all right. It will not fall in 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, it's going to fall, let it fall. 5 minutes dhyana you do and then take your decision. This is the best meditation because this will give you clarity, and that is why Krishna has probably selected it and recommended it also. Let us continue. Krishna says, yes, so I think that was one thing we saw yesterday. So again, once more, if somebody missed yesterday's session and does not know about that technique, prana pano samokrutva, the inhalation and exhalation, depending on your lung capacity, depending on your comfort zone, whatever it is. Inhale 2 seconds, exhale 2 seconds, or inhale 3 seconds, exhale 3 seconds, whatever you feel. Make it 4, make it 5, whatever it is, just how much time you inhale, same time you exhale. At the same time, while doing that, focus at this point, focus at the point between the eyebrows. One more thing is, forget all the other touches, external touches at that particular time. Nobody is going to call you. There was a nice song growing up. All you need is a mobile phone. Tell everybody you are not at home. That was the something like that. For 5 minutes, I am not available for the world. I am spending quality time with myself. Enough. We can't be so busy that we don't have that much time also for us. We need to do it at least for our sake, not for anybody else's sake, and definitely not for Krishna's sake. People say we need to do something for God. What are you going to do for God? भगवान का कुछ करना है. You don't take bath, you want God to take bath, you're going to give bath to God. What is the meaning of it? That was what Damleji would ask. Simple. I wanted people would come and say, I want to do something spirituality for God. Do we do it for God or do we do it for ourselves? It's for ourselves. So dhyana also is not because Krishna has told Krishna I'll feel happy or he will open one special pass for me in Swargalok 5 BHK. No, not that at all. We have to do it for ourselves. That is the important.
But I'm not able to focus on two things. Focus on the in the center of the eyebrow and the breathing. I'm
Okay, Ji.
finding that
Do you
difficult.
have
I
do you
find it
have a
quite,
do you have any pointed bindi or something with you?
yeah.
Just press it very nicely before doing it. So you will continuously have that tingling sensation. So little bit outer focus will come at that point. And let the focus, major focus is on breathing is also fine. It takes a time, no? It will take some time, maybe after a week, say 7 days. It is said if you do it for 14 days, it becomes a part of your routine. So just try it. And this is a nice thing. Small something, just some people take, just keep pressing for a while and then go in.
No,
It's a
I can do that. I mean, but it keeps shifting the focus. What I mean to say is,
No, it will not happen immediately. It'll happen naturally. Again,
okay.
meditation also is not something pull and it's not something it has to be pulled and got into you. It has to happen naturally. Raviji
I
wants to share
think
something?
I
Yes,
think initially, if you could only just focus in the
on the
center of the
breathing.
eyebrows, just forget about the
Okay.
breath as it goes. Once we have mastered
Actually,
that, then second time, then automatically the breath also will be
all right.
following.
Raviji is saying that way, but maybe that is also his working out well for him. It depends on every individual. For me, breathing was the first thing that helped. Because breathing I equalized, then it was keeping like a freshness came in. Like Raviji said, it may vary, every individual is different. So Krishna has not specified time also, duration also, nothing. But he's talked about this kriya. Let us practice it.
Shishruji, namaste.
Yeah, Namaste ji. Yes,
Shishruji,
ji.
I have a small question. In fact, this was a question that was asked to me. And since
Acha
I
ji.
did not find the answer, I would like to
Ji, ji.
take guidance from you. So, what has happened is I live in Oroville, and an old lady was talking to me, and she told me that for me, I feel very happy offering flowers to the god, doing puja, doing all these external activities, going to various temples. That gives me joy. But
Okay.
people around keep telling me that that is not how it is. Spirituality doesn't means that you should not do all these external activities. So, am
Yeah.
I right in doing these activities? Was the
Ji,
question that she asked me.
ji. So again, we will see in the Gita later on. Actually, Krishna, Sri Aurobindo also talks about no negations, isn't it? There are two negations. Do it, one says don't do it. So something like that. The one person who says you don't do it, then you are a sinner. You didn't do this kriya, so you are a sinner. Some other says you are doing it, so you are a sinner. It's not the case at all. Both is wrong. Maybe somebody, I think in Gita, first shloka, Krishna said, Na buddhi vedam. It's not our job to touch somebody else's shraddha. If somebody is getting ananda and offering flowers, why should somebody else even try to come in between? Even in that, then some people say flowers have to be offered with the, flower facing the god. Another says, no, keep the flower facing us. Another person says, if you keep it facing us, it will hurt the god, it will poke the god. These are all mental, what we can say, the mental limitations assigned for some reason. And that happens many times. Actually, because somebody says transcend the rituals, they take it as a chance to ridicule the rituals. Transcending and ridiculing is different. That is not, one must need not, it is not wrong at all. It must be offered. It comes naturally, isn't it? Like somebody likes painting, they do painting, something like that. Somebody likes to decorate. Damiji says flowers, if you arrange in a particular way, they also become conscious and they become like a yantra arranged around the Aradhya. And I've seen many times the meetings also, the position of the flowers has an effect is something we have seen, how it is arranged. It's always the typical photo of Mother Share window and the flowers. Depending on the person who is entering, we can identify what is happening because they are conscious. So offering flowers, I think, madam, is not wrong at all, no? Would you also feel the same thing, isn't it, Ji? Yes, Umaji?
Sorry, I told that lady that if it makes you feel happy, then
Yeah.
that is leading you to the divine.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
you don't need to think about that.
Ji, that was a perfect thing to say. That was the right thing only to say. And we'll see later on in Krishna saying, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. There's a shloka also. Whatever you
Thank you, Shushu.
offer with love. Thank you, Ji. Thank you, Ji. Hari Om. So let us continue.
Yesterday also we saw that Krishna says all sacrifices in whatever form lead to me.
Ha, ha.
So,
Yes, yes, yes. That is also rightly said, Vintaji. All these offerings, different ways. A juggler can do juggling also as an offering, isn't it? To the divine. It's possible. It's possible. Each person has that freedom. That is Sanatana Dharma. It is not ridiculing or not restricting a person in that offering. All right. Let us continue. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitaha ekaki yata chittatma nirashira parigraha. So now Krishna, last time he just talked about meditation. Now he's talking about the place of meditation. He says, the yogi should seclude and devote himself. If it was somebody else, Draupadi would have said herself. Meaning every individual must take time to spend some quality time with oneself. Our best friend is with us only, no? All our life we are accompanying ourselves. Why not get to know ourselves better? That is important. Dhyana is required. The yogi should seclude and devote himself. Why? On immersing and becoming one with the Supreme Self, in his solitude, with mind and body, in his control, free of desire. He should meditate on his soul. In that Shanti, we must focus on the divine. Why? Well, it is important because that self is inside of you. What will you get with that? You will get the realization, you will get the peace. You will also become free from desires. It is possible to be free from desires. So many people in our Bharat have shown that they can be blissful, they can be living proper lives, they can live happy lives, successful lives, free of desires. Desires are something like, it is like you go in a garden, see beautiful flowers, and you pluck those flowers. What happens to those flowers after you pluck them? They're going to die. They're going to die. That's all. That is exactly what happens with desires. You feel that greed to immediately grab, and you're not getting it. Instead, walk around, watch the beauty of the flower. Maybe you can come tomorrow again and experience the same beauty again. But that is something we must understand. Shantam Vimala Sukham. It is something happens very quietly when you go inside. So Krishna says, yes, seclude time, take time out. Don't say you're too busy to meditate. Do we say we are too busy to live life? No, we are living life all the time because that's our prerogative. Like that, dhyana also must be our prerogative. Krishna says further, he says now about the place in the next shloka. He says, Shuchau Shuchau deshe pratisthapya sthiramasana matmanah natyat shrutam nati nicham chailajina kushottaram. For this, a pure and clean place should be assigned. So for dhyana, some people have a dhyana prakoshta also. Means that place should be your standard place for dhyana. Not like today I'm doing on a chair, next time I'm doing on a sofa, another day on the bed. Then that day I saw a bat hanging upside down. I'll also try hanging upside down and doing dhyana. No, we're not going to keep moving around like that. We need one place, one sthana. Like they say, Eka Devo Bhava. Like that, your sthana also let it be one. Krishna says, how should that place be? It should be clean. A pure and clean place should be assigned. What is purity? What is cleanliness? ISO certified, pure, clean. Or how do we identify what is pure and clean now in our perspective? Anybody? Identifying a clean place. Shaucha is very important, it is said. Practicing cleanliness. So, anybody? A clean place for dhyana. Can
A
someone?
place that is probably pleasant to all our senses.
Pleasant is what Rajrupaji is saying. All right, that could be
To all our senses.
to our senses, so you feel quiet. All right, Anjuji is adding something.
Yeah, it should not be cluttered. It should be well organized, and basically we should have the same place, like क्योंकि energy वहीं पे उसकी एक settle हो जाती है
Okay,
ना. We
okay.
keep doing
So,
meditating at the same place.
so it
That's it.
probably
It should
creates
be
a
very,
relation, is
yeah,
what Anjuji is saying.
exactly.
Do you need a separate room for it?
If you have, otherwise
If
तो
you
ठीक
have
है.
it.
You should find
Okay,
some place which is
right. So
devoid of शोर शराबा और थोड़ा शांति जहाँ पे हो.
yes, but nowadays problem in societies is there is no place like that, isn't it? Outside earlier, people used to just walk out and find a place anywhere you can sit and meditate. But now somebody is not lucky enough to have a big place. It's all right, even if you have one tile, let that tile be your tile of dhyana in your room, in your corner, but let it be the same place. Clean it. Take a cloth, wipe it clean, create that sanskara there. Yes, Somaji is adding something. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I wish to say that it has to also be, as you keep meditating in that one place, the place itself has good vibes.
Okay, so this is something interesting. We will come to this in a moment then. So Anjuji and Umaji have said something about that place becoming conscious, place becoming charged. Charged by what? By your own tapasya, by your own tapa. So okay, it should be like this. Then what? A position neither too high nor too low he may find. Means that should be a comfortable position, not too uncomfortable, and not too high that chalo, I am on top of the world. Psychologically also. Ahankara should not rise because of the position where you are in. Or too low, I am so hopeless, I need some grace. Bhagwan, give me भगवान के नाम पे थोड़ा सा दे दे call Bhagwan only for grace. No, why do we lower ourselves, lower our consciousness? We are Amritasya Putra Vayam. We are children of highest consciousness. Why do we have to beg for grace also? We have to become worthy. We have to become Patra. So that place should not lower yourself unnecessarily by consciousness, not too high also. Somewhere balanced, clean and balanced place. Meditating steadfast on the self, he must assume his seat. So asana is required, Krishna says. And he talks about the asana also in the next line. He says, made of deer skin, kusha grass, or a natural cloth sheet. Three types of asanas there. One is deer skin, another is kusha grass, or a natural cloth sheet. Deer skin, unless we want a place in jail, we can avoid this deer skin in this current era which we are in. Remaining, we have kusha grass as well as natural cloth. So any natural cloth, we can use that. It is available anywhere, any place. We don't have to be. Krishna is not very fussy also that you must have this only. He's saying asan should be there. Kusha grass or darbha grass. Nowadays, you search online, get a darbha mat, it will come directly to your home if you have not able to find it nearby, near your home. So that is also available. What is the need for an asan, anybody? It is connected to something what Anjuji and Umaji shared just a moment ago. Yes, can someone guess the importance of the asana?
Asana is important from the point of view of grounding of the energies.
Yes, for the grounding of energies. So, asana grounds the energies or prevents the
No,
grounding
it
of energies?
prevents, it insulates
Prevents.
completely and the energy remains within.
All right, that's excellently said, sir. Like I think in electrical plug points also we have one earthing, isn't it? Earth
Yeah,
is the
basically
property. Yeah,
it
yes,
avoids
Anjuji.
leakage of energy also.
Yeah, absolutely. Bhumi
In
has the
Kriya Yoga,
ability
they
to
teach you all
absorb.
these.
हाँ
Like
जी
in Kriya Yoga, they teach these
हाँ
things, na?
yes. And why should Kriya Yoga be done? Again, it is said beautifully. Samadhi bhavanartha kleshatanu karnarthascha. Kriya is yoga is for going into the state of quietude, to reduce your difficulties, to reduce the fluctuations of the mind. For that, you have to practice. So again, asana is something because Bhumi is having the ability to absorb all of these charges. So for that, have an asana. Somebody will say, but this particular yogi was not having asana, but that yogi did a very great tapasya. Itna charge cultivate hoke discharge ho hi nahi raha hai. That let that person go around that way. But here Krishna has talked about the asana. So it's simple about the place. If we want to understand, let that place be a common place used every day. Big room, wow, lucky, brilliant. You can experience the joy. No big room, fine. The place where you sit, because as you do the dhyana continuously daily, a time will come that your sanskar is done on that place itself. That place becomes conscious. This we must have experienced when we go to some samadhis or when we go to some devalaya. Moment we take a step inside, step inwards also, we feel that aura of peace, that vibes in our heart. Suddenly we feel that quietude, quietude. Even meeting people, we get that sometimes. So how is that happening? Well, that is there. That is the truth. That is consciousness. So now you are establishing the consciousness. What will happen with that? You have done so much dhyana continuously in that place that tomorrow a difficult moment has come, you don't know what to do, and you're thinking, so let me go and meditate. Before you start meditating, the moment you go there, you become calm because that place has become charged. That is exactly why you need to do that. Krishna is saying, ensure the place, ensure an asana, sit down, Krishna says. Then Krishna says further, he says, Tatraikagram manah kritva yata chittendriya kriyaha upavishasane yujjat Yogam Atma Vishuddhaye. There, with a single minded devotion that is firm, with his mind a control over the senses, he must affirm. On his asana, the seat deeply absorbed in meditation, he must engage in the whole being's integral purification. Dhyana helps you to purify yourself. Just like, cleaning also is not just outer cleaning, sometimes inner cleaning also takes place. Many people take a broomstick and start serving, just cleaning. They go to a devalaya and start doing cleaning. Why are you doing it? No, I need to do it, that's all. But that person understands I am taking dirt outside of my head also, I'm throwing it out. All my wrong things inside also get cleaned that way. Something like that. Dhyana is also for Atma Shuddhi. What will happen when you ultimately get Atma Shuddhi completely? When you finish, what is the need for Atma Shuddhi? To get a realization, to get a realization of freedom. And the freedom is something which is special. That is, the freedom is why sadhana is done. When you become free, there is nothing in the world that is going to bind you anymore. Nothing, nothing. It is not outer. It is not belonging to other individuals. It is completely belonging to you only. And when you are realizing your all degrees of freedom, only then can you manifest the potentialities of your life. What are the possibilities? Otherwise, you are never free and you feel this is nothing is they have no potential. I cannot manifest anything. People sometimes go through all their lives without realizing they have a potential because of bandhanas, karma bandhanas, some other moha, some other attachment, indirectly, directly, due to this, due to that, all of this. We have to become free. Svena swasmin swayam brahma, Swe mahimni swano bhutam, Satyam Jnanadhanam. Which bank account will you find Satyam? No, it will not be outside. You will have to get that realization, and that truth consciousness will be the most purest. Nothing more than that. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram na vidyate is what Krishna says. Nothing is more pavitra than this knowledge. Pure. And why is it like that? Because when you get that knowledge, there is quietude, there is peace. I have seen people in the face of adversities, abject adversities, means even physical adversity also, due to disease, the person is able to become calm and peaceful, negate the action of the disease. Even monetary aspects also. Sometimes people say, no, whatever philosophy you take, if I am having a debt, you cannot save me from the debt. Philosophies will not help me. No, it's not like that. Monetary and you may have a debt, all right, but On the inside, what is there? That quietude can come anytime. It is your choosing. It is your choosing. But when will you learn to choose? When you are already giving yourself that royal treatment. Ki, chalo, I have a choice. When you say, I have no choice, gone. You're already decided. You are no more. You are already inferior. You are in a bandhana itself. So this realization must come. For that, this dhyana is required because the spiritual strength is also something. And spiritual strength can be cultivated. Spiritual strength does not only mean brute physical strength. In an apartment system close by, I saw one woman standing up against somebody who was a tyrant. Physically, this person is not strong at all, but the energy was so firm and fierce that this person standing made other sleeping people also get up. But that was the strength of the spirit. We have to understand that it is important, and sadhana will only make us stronger. Dhyana is another means of sadhana. It is one important means. So Krishna says, focus, sit on your asana and start reflecting. There are so many bhajans to think about, so many bhajans to meditate, whatever you understand. So many. It's up to you. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Devi Narayani Namostute. When you say this, what is going to happen? The strength of the Devi, the Shakti. Shakti is what? Shakti is the universe. Her Shakti Sancharan will start happening inside of you. When you recognize that the Divine Mother is there. Divine Mother is mother of which person only? That person's mother having partiality for somebody, or Divine Mother is really divine? Divine for everybody, isn't it? So and she's also powerful, also strong. That strength will come to us. When will it come to us? When we seek, when we ask, when we become receptive, when we become patra. Dhyana will allow us to become patra for grace also. That is something which we must understand. Krishna goes on. He says, Samam kaya shirogrivam dharayan nachalam sthiraha sampreksha nasikagram swam dishaschana valokayan. Another technique, the second technique, blink and a miss. Second technique Krishna gives us for dhyana. First one we saw. Problem in that was too many thoughts. Thoughts come and go. Thoughts are not in our control. They are affecting our quality of that dhyana. Well, this is the technique of the yogi to become thoughtless. Absolute no zero thought. This technique can immediately give that to you. Somebody says, I don't believe it. So let us try. Let us try it now. First, we'll see what it is. Krishna says, keeping the body, neck, and head erect and immobile. Means like a straight line. Sharira, the neck, and the head. Otherwise, people go into dhyana also, they are like leaning toward pizza. No, straight. We'll sit in a comfortable position in a straight line. The neck, the head, and the body. A stable position he must take in this style, without his mind or eyes glancing in any other direction. No, we're not trying to solve some universal theorem right now that we have to keep thinking about it. Right now, focus on what? On sitting erect and being stable. And eyes not moving here and there. Otherwise, kaun dekh raha hai, how am I looking while I'm doing dhyana? Will that person think I'm more yogi right now, or my yogi level is increased? All these things happen. We need to forget all of that. No eyes looking anywhere else. Krishna is going to make us focus where? He says, on the nose's tip. He must focus his attention. This is called a nasikagra dhyana. Means what is the front portion of the nose? That is the tip of the nose. This can be traditionally or typically it is done with the eyes closed. But since just for some time, I will not even say 2 minutes. We cannot do it for 2 minutes. We can just try right now for say 30 seconds. Can we try that? Yes, I'll just say Hari Om, and can we try that right now? So eyes will anyway not glance anywhere if you're keeping them open. You're going to open and just look at the tip of your nose. When you're sitting erect, sit in a straight line. Means sit in let your head, neck and body be in one position. And I say Hari Om, just focus, keep your eyes open and look at the tip of the nose. Hari Om. 30 seconds only. Hari Om. Don't need to go 30 seconds also, I think. Yes. Anybody? What was the experience? Yes. Anyone? Yeah. Hari Om. Yes. Anybody? Anybody had a headache? Yes.
I didn't get a headache, but my eyes were moving away from the nose again,
Okay. They were
going in
moving away
different
from the
directions.
nose. Acha. Okay, Shabnam ji, madam
It
is
was a
saying
task to
it was a
look at.
task. But were you
Yes,
able to, for some time at least, do it?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, definitely. Yes.
And while you were doing it, what were your thoughts, ma'am?
No, there were no
No
thoughts. It
thoughts.
was just
Wow, isn't
trying
it?
to focus on my nose. That is what I was
Uh,
trying to do.
so isn't it? You see, you got the thoughtless state. Means they say yogi is na kinchit api chintayet. Means anytime you see somebody, what you're thinking, I'm thinking something. But at this time, while doing it, thoughtlessness, immediately we are getting it. It is like instant sakshatkar. Means last one, somebody said it is a 2-minute noodle technique, but this is even faster. A few seconds, it is giving that. So anybody else would like to share their input on it? Yes? Rajini ji is saying something. Madam, please unmute. On the bottom left-hand side, there is a speaker button. You can just press that. Is it possible? On the bottom left-hand side, on audio, it must be written there. You can just click on it.
Sushruji,
Yeah. Yes, ji?
the 30 seconds were very short as a time to try this exercise, but at the
Ah,
same time, it was a kind of contracting your muscles
yes.
to look at the tip of your nose and continuing it for some time.
Hmm.
Yes, you do get thoughtlessness faster, as you said, but then this activity itself, sometimes it's taxing to the muscles, I feel. I
Trainers.
have
Yes, it
tried
is
it
trainers.
before, but I felt that I could not continue doing this for a long time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it is strenuous, and if Krishna does not want his bhaktas to have squint eyes, if we do it too long, probably we might get that. But this is just while we are practicing. Initially, we can do it with our eyes open, but then we can start closing our eyes every time we get strained. The purpose of this is to go to that thoughtlessness state. That is all. Means we just start practicing. Oh, close your eyes. Array, thoughts are coming in. Again, open your eyes. Focus. Asikagra dhyana. And let the dhyan continue with your eyes closed. You can still focus. I think that is something which we all can do, no? Even if our eyes are closed, the point of focus need not change. But every time the thoughts come, yes. Rajni ji, are you able to do it? Just on the left-hand side bottom, you will be able to see on the screen. I'm not able to hear you, Maji. Okay, no problem then. We'll see. I'm sorry, I cannot hear you. Ji. All right. So this thoughtlessness is something which is very important. We need to cultivate it. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I started headache, too much of headache.
Haan ji. We do not want to strain while doing this. Ji. Just we can close our eyes without headache. If we can, without straining, we can focus at the point. But if our thoughts are they are taking control of our meditation, and we are not able to meditate. That time, for a second, you can open your eyes and again
No,
close it.
because of that pain, thoughts were not there at all.
Haan. Yes, that is also one more thing. Ji. That is one of the probably Krishna's hidden agenda, why it should happen. Because then thoughts we will forget. Ji. All
Okay,
right.
thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you, ji. Thank you. Hari Om. So this is what Krishna Dasik Agra Dhyan is good. Sometimes we can alternate this technique with the other technique. Means while you are doing the other one, thoughts are coming in just for a few seconds. Again, just make your mind in control. This is very good for controlling the mind. But I know people who have actually done this for a longer time with eyes open also. Means it is not that it is not meant to be done at all, but again, yoga is to be done naturally, isn't it? No Surya Namaskar instructor will push somebody into touch your toes right now, immediately. It happens naturally as you do the asanas. My coach, badminton coach, had done it, and I did not go to play again for 8 months because I was so frustrated. It hurt me and it created a psychosis. So we're not, no sadhana should be done which is going to trouble us, but we'll have to try to slowly transcend. So keeping our eyes open, not necessary for too long, but Nasikagra Dhyana is for going into that thoughtless state. That is all. Krishna is not going to tell anything more about Dhyana in the entire Gita after this. He has just introduced two techniques, very simple techniques to use, which can be done by anybody at any time. How we use it is up to us. If we want to, go ahead. Krishna goes on, he says, Prashantatma Vigatabhir Brahmachari Vrate Sthitaha Mana Sanyamya Matchitto Yuktaha Asita Matparaha. While doing this dhyana, how should it be? Krishna says, Prashantatma Vigatabhir Brahmachari Vrate Sthitaha. With a peaceful mind that is without fear. At least while doing your dhyana, you're dissociating yourself from everything else, isn't it? You're forgetting all the other pressures, at least while you're dhyana. Again, bhaya also is not required. Keep your mind peaceful, keep your mind free from all fear. The vow of celibacy he must bear. He must seek with his mind firmly in control a merger into my consciousness as a whole. This is something which is interesting. Krishna is asking us to identify, associate, relate, and then try to become one with the divine consciousness. Where is that divine consciousness? Not in the neighbor's apartment, not in the Devale so far away. Inside of you also that same divine consciousness is there. Try to associate, try to connect is what Krishna is saying. But there was something interesting. He said, Brahmachari vrate sthita. That means, oops, all who are married now cannot experience this Prashanta Manasam or Shanti. Is that what Krishna is telling? So far he was saying yoga was for everybody. And now suddenly he's talked about Brahmacharya. Anybody? Exclusion criteria is now suddenly in this. He's just made everybody, majority of everyone is now excluded from this piece. Yes, what could this Brahmacharya Vrata mean?
I don't think brahmacharya, uh, even married people can be brahmacharis.
Yes, yes, yes. When you are doing
It's
the
basically
dhyana.
on the path of Brahman, so therefore brahmachari.
Yes, yes, and during that moment of dhyana, that time, what are you associating with? Only with the Supreme Brahman, nothing else. That time you are not when at home Bunty is there, Bubbly is there, this person is there, that person is there. All that is not required when you are doing dhyana. You are having that one connection with the Brahman Supreme. Swatma Ramoham Bhuma Parama Sukhi Svena Swasmin Swayam Brahma Swe Mahimni Swano Bhutam Chit Kalyanam Hridaye Nityam Sevya Seva Sevakarhitam. All the time focusing on that only. Purification, inner purification and connecting. So it's applicable for everybody. At least at the time of meditation, forget all your bandhanas, forget all your mohas, forget all your attachments, at least while you're doing dhyana. That is important. Krishna goes on. Yujjanevam sadatmanam yogi niyatamanasah shantim nirvana paramam matsthamam adhigacchati. Towards the self, directing and channeling the mind. Always in yoga, that being when you find the supreme peace attains he with the nirvana of Brahma that is founded in me. Whatever is this Brahma nirvana, the supreme peace, the absolute Shanti that can be attained. Who knows the value of this supreme Shanti? Only somebody who is experiencing the highest Shanti. Somebody who is feeling most frustrated, what is happening in my life? I don't have a moment's peace. I come inside the house, that's all. I'm just waiting to get free. Well, for that person only dhyana is there. It is not only for yogis who have already become mukta from everything. It is for every single person. It is for experiencing that peace. Experiencing that peace in a difficult situation also. Gita itself is a paradox of things, isn't it? Krishna is giving dhyana lesson where? In the middle of a battlefield. And what is Arjuna going to do after learning about dhyana? Arjuna's Center for Meditation, subscription fees. He's going to start. No, he's going to get into a big, gory battle where he's going to fight. He's going to have to slay his own people, his own elders, his own teacher. He's going to fight against. So this is something, the paradox: material life, spiritual life, inner life, outer life, swadharma, somebody else's impositions of dharma on us. This is the battle we fight in life every single day. We need spiritual strength to face this battle. Otherwise, we fall, we break, we crush ourselves, we feel helpless. So, dhyana is going to give us strength. That is what Krishna is talking about. And when you realize it, you will be peaceful. No matter what people tell you. Today, I learned from one more person, somebody in China also, same story. What is happening in Bharatiya Sanskriti is different, American Sanskriti is different. Same because that person is also an engineer. She finished her engineering in computers, then did an MA, and now she's doing PhD in integral yoga. Her parents, only child, one policy that time that was imposed. 89 born, no? Those people that time. There was a rule, one family, one child. So the only child of that person belonging to Chinese family has gone and now taken a spiritual path. Parents were like, this person has gone crazy. Now, whichever part of the world, people sometimes run away from one place thinking, I go to this country, I'll be free. No, no guarantee. Wherever you go, it is going to happen. Instead, do sadhana. Do sadhana, you will be able to stand confidently in any part of the world because, again, that consciousness is one. And that is what Krishna is saying. Experience it, taste it. This taste will come only by tasting, not by showing. Mango season, I can sit and eat a mango, and I can tell it's a very nice mango, it's a very tasty mango. Nobody will get a taste of it. You will feel I'm teasing you. Tukaram had also told the same thing. Vedanta to artha hamasi thava. I only can claim to know the meaning of the Vedas. He went on to say, Khadilyasa godi dekhilyasa nahi. The sweetness of taste you cannot see, no? You have to experience. So that Brahma Nirvana, experience it. Who is most worthy of experience is somebody who has experienced the other end, who has experienced the worst, who has experienced anxiety, can only understand the value of peace. And this is required. Dhyana will take us there. Krishna goes on. He says, Natyash natastu yogosti na chaikanta manashnataha na chati swapnashilasya jagrato naiva cha Arjuna. Oh Arjuna, understand this yoga's way, and for whom this path is barred, I verily say, it is certainly not for him who engages, who in sleep and food indulges, and also not for he who rigidly renounces both urges. Krishna is saying this path is not open for everybody. So far it was easy for everyone, but now suddenly it's not. Well, yes, if you are going to run after your vasanas, if you are going to run after your desires, you will not be able to walk on path by default. That's what Krishna is saying. It's not for he who is always indulging in sleep and food. Somebody who is a glutton just wants to keep eating all the time. Can this person learn self-control anytime when he is not practicing it himself? No, not at all. Same way, somebody who does not try to, it's like the moment the tamas, or we have not studied tamas yet. So when the moment when laziness enters, that person yields to it. Can that person do anything? I think anything in life cannot be done that way, isn't it? So the sadhana also cannot be done by somebody who is always indulging in sleep, always indulging in food. Some people have the habit, they read a lot, but they don't take care of their body at all. And they keep indulging in their sensory means food also, they don't have mental control also. Look at Arjuna, his name was Gudakesha, the one who had conquered sleep. This is also, some people have done that. There was one person who suddenly, he didn't do sadhana also. It happened naturally to him that that person stopped sleeping. He held a record also. That was when I was in college. I had studied about him. It was very interesting. This person is stopped sleeping. One day he was carrying, just carrying the sticks and go in a village. He was carrying the sticks and going usual everyday routine. And that day onwards, he stopped sleeping. Have you heard of anybody dying because of not sleeping? No. What happens? Somebody, when they feel too sleepy, they fall asleep. That is okay. But what happens otherwise? Some people say, I must fall asleep for this much time. But this is an important work which you have to do. Duty comes first or sleep comes first? Some people say sleep comes first. Duty is not that important. And how will this person progress? That is all Krishna is saying. He's not trying to reduce our quality time of sleep, but he's saying if you just indulge in sleep only, you'll not be able to progress. Yogis sleep for very less time. Sri Aurobindo, the mother, if you see 3-4 hours of conscious sleep, they would experience the entire trupti of probably somebody sleeping after 10 hours also doesn't feel fresh. But for a few hours of sleep also some people, that is sadhana, becoming conscious. They talk about entering into sleep also consciously and waking up also consciously. Not like suddenly battery switched off, also plop, the person falls on the bed and suddenly wakes up as if suddenly something has happened and somebody has put your face in water only. No, quietly going in, quietly going out. So that somebody who does sadhana will understand. Otherwise, another person will feel, no, this is not so important at all. Krishna goes on, he says, Yuktahara viharas. And also, it is not for somebody who rigidly renounces both the urges. Means sadhana is something which is beautiful. It is to be done by everyone, but has to be done naturally, not by rigid discipline imposed from outside. Self-discipline will gradually develop as you practice sincerely. Sincerity is one aspect which can ensure you do the right thing. If you have sincerity, you will know what to do, how much you have to do, or what is required. Not like troubling yourself too much. It will happen naturally. Your progression takes place. Krishna goes on, Yuktahara viharasya, yuktacheshtasya karmasu, yuktaswapnavabodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkhaha. All sorrows begin to cease and disappear when the state of yoga approaches near, wherein sleep, awakening, and food is in regulation, and works too when the mind engages in regulated action. So Krishna says this means this is the simplest indication. Am I going ahead on the path of sadhana? Am I smiling more? Am I experiencing ananda? Am I happy? Is my personality blossoming? If the answer to your question is yes, you are on the right track. Your sadhana is going ahead. Because as you go closer, the sorrow aspect of your life starts reducing as you go closer towards divinity. Krishna says that. He says, when the state of yoga approaches, what is yoga? Union. Union of what? Man with divine. Union of the one who is vibhakta, the one who has separated. Separated from what? Separated from the divine consciousness. How do you get that union? People say, how to eliminate vibhakti? Simple, with bhakti. It is as simple as that. So when you start cultivating it inside of you, you go closer, is what Krishna says. Wherein sleep, awakening, and food is in regulation and works too when the mind engages in regulated action. So regulation, discipline, that is important. Ramleji would work very hard, even in his young days. After he had got married, he had joined Gokhleji as a Shishya. See, he had to do his work also, his personal sadhana also, raise the family also, and he left a very good paying job, high paying job as an executive to do all of it. Anybody would say that's crazy. But there was not that much of dialogue between Guru and Shishya. There was not so much of age difference also. And that era was also different. So one day he was sitting and on his table doing something, work late in the evening. His guru came close. He would also call him Damleji only. He just came close to him, touched him, and just said, Damleji, काम बंद करना भी आना चाहिए. And he went ahead. Suddenly the pen dropped. His guru has said something very sincerely. He must have told with some meaning. Let me try to understand. So that is a sincerity. Why he has told what? No, simple word also when received with sincerity, it makes a lot of difference. And he said that day I understood something means the day how you start the work like that, there should be a way of finishing the work also for that day. Management professionals also understand this is very important. Imagine a team leader says, I want this much output in this month, and first 5 days of the month, this person makes all the entire team work too hard. What will happen then? Burnout will happen or not? Burnout will happen, quality also will suffer. Instead, if this person can do regulatedly, it is so nice. That's why in our factory, Damiji has a system of first meditation. So day starts with meditation for all the people. And then only the work starts. And same way, work does not go beyond that particular time. Learn to close the work. Beyond this, I'll do it tomorrow. You're only going to do the work, no? But remaining part, so regulation is required like that for Karya also regulation, for your Ahar also your regulation, even you're sleeping also, you're waking also, you're living also, with regulation. That is what Krishna is talking about. Krishna goes on. Probably we can, yes, we can look at just two more shlokas. Or three more shlokas. Yes. Yada vi niyatam chittamatman yeva avatisthate nispruha sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tada. Yada viniyatam chittam atmani eva avatisthate. Krishna says, when the mind and the intellect have perfectly converged in the state of the self, they have truly merged. When from all forms of desires he is liberated, the state of union or yoga he is said to have attained. Krishna says this mana and buddhi, they become one. This is a beautiful union. Many times we have different fights inside of us, ourselves only. Mind saying one thing, heart saying something else, intelligence trying to mediate in between mind and heart. And then we go trying to explain that to somebody else. That time your tongue is speaking neither what your buddhi is telling, neither what your mind is telling, neither nothing. It is speaking a new language, and you are all the more confused. What did I say? Why did I say this? Instead, when you have the clarity of mind, it's like all these instruments of yours, they have all united, they have converged. Converged into what? Converged into that one consciousness. They're all able to understand. Do we need rules to behave, how to behave with people? Anybody? Do we need rules? Be nice to people. Do we have to study Shastra to see that? Respect people. Is it required to study Shastra to understand that? Yes? No? If not, why not? How are we understanding it?
We should treat people the way we want to be treated.
Okay, we want to be treated so. Should that be the only driving? Because I want to. Because I remember I I used to give lift all the time. I still give lift to people whenever they ask. And then I had gone to LLR Samadhi. I thought, chalo, theek hai. Bhagwan ki I'm going to a nice place. I'll get help from the universe. And it was already a very hot summer, and I was wearing a wrong pant. It was already difficult walking, and I was like, Bhagwan, come on. So many people I have given lift. Let somebody give me a lift. I asked for lift. One person just looked at me and I was like, wow, he really mocked me and then went away. And that was the last person who bothered looking at me. Other people did not even give a lift. I somehow went walking, even cursing my luck, everything. I didn't get a lift at all. Now you want people to do something, you do it for that reason, and now you don't get it, what will happen? I was irritated. But when somebody asked, I again gave a lift afterwards also. Because that is my nature. So now that like Aditi ji says that you do it because you want it. That is something we are taught. But this is not it is not mam phaleshu kadachanam, isn't it? If we are doing it just because, and truly speaking, you feel good, no, when you're able to do something good to anybody. When it's not harming you in any way, what is wrong? It comes naturally. It comes naturally to us, and for that we don't need Shastra. That natural instinct which we have, no, many times that only gets suppressed because of so many factors. To understand that, we have to do dhyana. To understand that, we have to converge into that higher consciousness. What is right here? Is this right? Keeping silent also is not right sometimes. We become silent when we are unhappy or when we don't like something. That is also what? That's also a type of surrender, isn't it? Surrender to what? Surrender to a lower force. Instead, ask God, what is the situation? Give me the strength. How do I deal with it? Should I speak? Should I speak? And how do I speak? Give me that strength. There was a nice mantra which was very useful for me, especially in the Gita class. First time I was taking 15th Adhyay, it was very difficult Adhyay. Already I knew it. I was very scared. How will this Adhyay go? I asked my Guruji, how do I take it? It was around 4 years back, 5 years back. He said this, Jivhe Vara Baisare Govinda. Say this mantra continuously in your mind. Focus on it. Ask Govinda to help you with the tongue, help you speak the right words. It went all right. And then that became a very nice cheat code. So like that, we can probably have it in our life also. Give us the strength to speak what is required, what is right. But for that, we have to align with that consciousness. Our mana, our buddhi, and there is something higher than that. That also we must understand and surrender. That's what Krishna is saying. When a person is free, all desires also are gone, and that person is liberated. We'll just stop at 19th sloka. We will look at another simile that Krishna has said and we'll stop here. Yatha deepo nivatastho nengate sopama smruta yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaham. Like the light of the lamp that burns with a steady face, motionless and still in a windless place. So Krishna is going to give us that. He's given a beautiful example of a lamp, of a jyoti. If there is wind, what happens to that jyot? It flickers. It flickers and ultimately it gets blown off also sometimes if the wind is not strong. But but if uh, but if you are able to control, if you are able to control, you are able to, sometimes people in front over a lamp they keep a glass casing, isn't it? Then what happens? Then it remains like that. It's like that the yogi has learned how to insulate the inner lamp from the outer attacks. So that is the mind of the yogi. The yogi's mind is steady, steady like that flame. Swami Vivekananda talked about that also as a type of meditation. Just watching the jyot, which is not flickering. Anybody is aware of that? Dhyana on the jyoti.
Tratak meditation.
Tratak is also there. Yes, Tratak requires a little bit more concentration. It's something like Nasikagra. Tratak is forceful. But even Tratak also can be done. And also without Tratak also, just shant, becoming quiet and looking at the lamp only. You'll see your thoughts also which were flickering, no? They also start silencing. So something like that, Krishna is saying, that is the mind of the yogi. It is like a lamp burning in a place where there is no wind at all. It is steady and standing perfectly. So too is the mind of the yogi, of the awakened self, who has consciously attained mastery over himself. 20th shloka, we'll just look at one more. Yes, we'll stop at shloka number 20. Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyan atmani tushyati. Pashyan atmani tushyati. Because what is happening? You are seeing something, you are able to see. What are you able to see? You are able to recognize the divinity. From where? From inside. It's like you're able to see the mirror and smile. Can we do that? Anybody? Can we look at the mirror and smile?
Yes, we can look at the mirror and smile, and we can even look at ourselves within and feel happy.
Yes, 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 absolutely. What a beautiful, like an artist creates an artwork and looks at the art and appreciates the art created by the same artist. Kya baat hai? The artist says after looking at a picture, something like that. You should be able to, because when your mind is clear, you're able to experience that santosha. Dr. Vidisha ji says, my little one looks at a mirror and smiles. Children, no, sometimes they understand the truth very, very easily. Adults only get confused and complicate things. So yes, we can smile, we can appreciate beauty in ourselves also. Why are we hesitating? Why are we not appreciating that? Oh, what a wonderful person. Oh, is that me? That is something like that. The yogi is able to understand because the mind has been tamed. By what? By a discipline. When the mind is tamed by a disciplined will, by the awakened knowledge, it is purified and still. And the awakened being perceives the self by the self's gnosis, thus dwelling in the contented state of the supreme bliss. That person has experienced Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. The self is awakened. The self is perceiving what? The presence of the self inside of that one individual. Like you are recognizing the hero that you have been searching for, that hero is right inside of you. Where have you been waiting for? Why have you been looking so everywhere else hopelessly without turning inwards? So that is what happens to a yogi. He is experiencing the santosha. And you see this beautiful shloka. The last part is interesting. Pashyan atmani tushyati. So there is satisfaction. This tushti, no, that is very important. If you have tushti, it does not matter whether you have a vehicle, which is two-wheeler, or it's a big vehicle, or it's a cycle, or you don't have a vehicle. You can experience that trupti, that satisfaction, that contentment. That's what Krishna is also talking about here. You're able to see it and you experience that ananda. When suddenly the heart becomes calm and quiet. I mean, how many of us have ever felt so quiet that, wow, I have two eyes which are functional? So many don't have that, isn't it? I have ears which are functional. I have a tongue which can taste. I'm able to stand. I'm able to walk. I'm able to talk. These are all what we can say precious life experiences, isn't it? Which are worth celebrating. I can tell I lost my voice for nearly a period of 3 months. It was fun for so many people who, especially my staff. Now we cannot shout saying 3 months. They enjoyed a lot. But I felt ki, yes, this is what I have done. Voice abuse. I need to now rest my voice. It is important. I have to become conscious of it. Because when you lose something only, you will know its value, isn't it? But do you have to lose something to know its value? No, it's not. Sometimes we have the best company also, and yet we don't realize it. When do we realize? We realize too late. Sometimes after the person has departed, array, that person was there, I didn't realize it. Best friends we may be having, and we will say, no, no, not now. I don't want to disturb that person, or I don't want to get disturbed. One some reason or the other, we avoid. So like that, we need to experience that. When will that come? Not when we are driven only by desires. When you're quiet, calm, you're going to experience what we call the rasa of life. Gopis were experiencing what? Rasa Leela. Rasa Leela of whom? Of Krishna. The Rasa Leela. They're experiencing that. They're experiencing the what we can say ananda of every moment. That can be done when you become conscious. So becoming conscious is the entire reason why Krishna is telling Arjuna to learn, to do dhyana. Because when Arjuna enters into this battlefield, he will have to become conscious. He's going to have a rush of adrenaline. He's going to have a rush of so many emotions, rush of memories, rush of the past. All of that, he'll have to deal with it with consciousness, allowing the higher consciousness to work, not the lower consciousness. So that is why Krishna is trying to talk about strengthening the mind, experiencing what is a detachment through dhyana. So with this, we can conclude today's session. If somebody can summarize something that we have seen, some of the points, then we conclude with the Shanti mantra.
So about the place of meditation,
Ji.
it has to be a secluded place where you can give time to oneself. It has to be clean and assign a fixed place for it. Then with dhyana, you purify yourself, you get Atma Shuddhi. And one more second technique of dhyana, which we saw, was focusing on the tip of the nose. And a person who practices this, his mind is peaceful. He connects with the Supreme. He forgets all bandhanas.
Ji.
Experiences Brahma Nirvana. And you should not indulge in the vasanas, excessive food or sleep, all such vasanas.
And not reject also, isn't it? Not about rejecting also and not about indulging also.
Indulging also.
In Ayurveda, it is said Vega. Vega is there, which is not to be stopped. But means like you feel the sudden need for burping. Means, no, it's not good. It's all right. Go quietly and clear it. Because sometimes what happens, that creates a different negative sanskara again. So, but again, if you allow yourself to get indulging only, it becomes a problem. Yes, Ji.
When mind engages in such regulated action, the sorrows cease and disappear.
Means one question,
stage of-
Anitaji, yeah, just one question is, do you think difficult moments will cease to exist when sorrows disappear, or difficult moments will?
We are not affected by such
Okay.
situations in spite of
Means the situations may come.
come.
What we are seeing before also, same situations may represent again. But we will be a different being and we'll be able to face them with
Yes.
detachment. Ji, all right, Ji.
Then when the mana and buddhi merge with the self, when you and you converge with the consciousness when you're in this state of dhyana.
Ji, Ji.
And a yogi's mind should be steady like the motionless like the
No
lamps.
wind. Lamp in a windless place. This is important because this example of wind is going to be quoted by Arjuna. It will indicate that Arjuna is listening, but he will use wind only to negate Krishna's simile, Guru ki vidya Guru ko, something like that. That will be interesting how Arjuna is going to counter it. So, but one more last thing is that person becomes purified that the chitta becomes clear as a crystal, clear or mirror like, that you are able to see yourself. And what is the other person seeing? What does the other person see in the mirror? Their own reflection. So what happens? The person who is wrong, what will that person see? The person will see how they are wrong only in the presence of the yogi. Yogi's mind is so clear that the faults start appearing. It is something like people start exposing themselves. When your consciousness starts becoming clear and clear, no? Automatically, nobody wants to make a fool of themselves, isn't it? Nobody will want to expose their own limitation to someone else. And yet they do it. Why is it that they do it? Because they don't understand it. It is the consciousness that is working. So as you go higher, you start, why people's faults are coming in front of me? Some people ask this question. Hey, that is not your problem. That's not your fault at all. It is just an indicator that you are now rising in consciousness. That in your consciousness, in your presence, the lower consciousness starts getting uncomfortable. And that uncomfortable feeling displays itself directly. So that is the yogi's mind. Mind has become clear, mind has become free. So, all right. Yes, ma'am. Anything else you wanted to add, Vinitaji?
No.
All right, ji. So
No,
let us
sir.
conclude. Yeah, let us conclude with the Shanti mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhavat bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Hari Om. Jai Shri Krishna. If anybody has any queries, you are welcome, or we'll close the session. Yes, ji. Hari Om.
Hari
Conclude
Om.
with
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Yes, sir. Namaskar. Hari Om.